Hello and welcome to Thursday. Today's Thursday. It's an E60 day. I did some kind of admin stuff this morning for a couple hours and then moved on to this. So we worked inside today on pinning or wiring the reverse switch, which comes from the transmission on the transmission harness, and it runs up under here to the DME box. Then there's two wires for the reverse sensor. There's a positive ground line that on the manual needs to go from here. Instead of coming up to the DME box, it's supposed to go to the light module over in the driver's footwell, but it's coming up here. There's a positive line and then there's a ground. This is the ground. I just have it pinned over here, and I stole a ground from the hood. One of these is the hood. This is the hood sensor. This is the air quality sensor that sits on the black box where the cabin filter is here. The positive wire we pulled out of there and heat shrunk it to another wire that runs inside. We didn't want to run a new positive line through the firewall, so we just figured we can rob one of these from the old SMG 52 pin harness, the gray block that goes to the little plus minus button on the SMG shifter that speeds up or slows down the shifts. So we found that wire, traced it, used that to get in the cabin, and then connected it over to the LCM. Does that make sense? So essentially we're going from here to the LCM, so when you put the car in reverse, the reverse lights now light up and the PDC comes on, and that's good progress. I still have to figure out the ground. I think we want to share some grounds. This blue wire is the ground for that sensor, but we also need to ground the neutral switch or the neutral sensor and the, I don't know, whatever else is on the transmission. So we'll get to the grounds later, but the positive's done, wired inside pretty cleanly. We just ran it behind the carpeting, behind the pedals, under the HVAC box, and over to here. Then we installed the transmission the rest of the way. It's torqued to spec with the rear brace to the chassis. The shifter is put through the hole here. So it actually has the manual shifter now, which is cool. And you put it in reverse, the reverse lights come on. That's badass, I already said that. And we're kind of done in the cabin for now. We got to clean up all those metal shavings down there still, but good progress today. And once we get a drive shaft, we can put that in. The throttle's getting closer and closer to put in. That'll be a little ways. The heat shield will go in after the drive shaft. We reorganized all the hardware today, drive shaft and heat shielding and front pan, and the parts box is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. These lines came back today. These are the cooler lines for the transmission that we're blocking off, and they fit like this, and that's plugged up and then painted. Same thing with that one, and then we're waiting on the bolt that attaches this bracket to the side of the transmission, and that is 3 weeks out from Germany, for frig's sake. And then Sean's E39 is here. It's getting its wheels refinished in shadow chrome. They're going to be picked up tomorrow morning, so that's cool. These things are definitely in need of a refinish. We're going to go upside down. Now we're right side up. Here we go. Did he over tighten it already?
I think so.
Oh, God damn it, Gary. Hey, we're back at the house. Tonight, Kenan made some sort of bologna weird-ass sandwiches, and I put together some ham and some breadsticks and some carrots, and we're cleaning out the fridge before the next grocery run. So, a productive shop day today. As I mentioned, we did some undercarriage work. We did a little bit of wiring work. It's just so slow going for me. I've never been strong at reading the wiring diagrams and deciphering this harness turns into this harness, and pin 1 turns into 7 and then 6 and then 14 and then it's fused, and God, it's complicated. When you break it down section by section, it's fairly logical, but it's difficult to read, especially the SMG versus the manual. They don't label SMG versus manual. You kind of have to figure it out based on what components are on the diagram. So slow going, yet progressive. We had dinner tonight. We watched some Seinfeld and some Family Guy and some Ferrari videos on the YouTube, and had some strawberry shortcake, and now it's 11 o'clock and I'm finishing up some laundry here before I get to bed. So tomorrow's Friday. I'm going to clean up my car, which reminds me I need to dig out the equipment. I've reorganized my cabinet here. Up top I've got interior towels, I've got wheel towels, I've got glass towels, I've got used I've been using these for years, body towels, the Ubers, and then I've got a brand new set that after I detail the car for the next time, I'll switch to those. So tomorrow I'll use 3 of these, I will use 3 of these, and shit, 2 of these, and thankfully the floor is quite clean here. Joe, you're shaking your head, all right, and you shouldn't use those. Kennan's saying the same crap. Nate's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't use those. I'm using them anyways, all right? That's where we go. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Friday. Night.